So let's discuss question number 8 here, and in the question number 8 we have to describe various types of epithelial tissue with the help of labeled diagram. Right, so what is epithelial tissue? First of all, we will see what is epithelial tissue, then we will move on to the various types of epithelial tissue, right? So what is epithelial tissue? Epithelial tissue is actually a tissue which lines the surface of a body, right? We have various kinds of tissues present in our body, or we can say that our body is actually made up of various kinds of tissues, right? We have different types of tissues such as epithelial tissue, nervous tissue, muscular tissue, right? We have different types of tissues, and among these we have this epithelial tissue to describe, and the various types of epithelial tissue we have to describe according to this question. Now, if we talk about what is epithelial tissue, epithelial tissue is the tissue which lines the surface of our body and forms a protective covering. Epithelial tissue is your tissue which lines the surface of a body and forms a protective covering. The cells of epithelial tissue, are arranged or packed so tightly with little intercellular spaces, with little intercellular matrix in them. This is your epithelial tissue. Now, we have basically two types of, we have to describe the various types of epithelial tissue, right? So, basically we have two types of epithelial tissue, that is your simple epithelial tissue and your compound epithelial tissue. Now, what is the difference between these two? Why these two are categorized into different groups as simple epithelium and compound epithelium? The basic difference between these two is, whenever we talk about the simple epithelium, then simple epithelial tissue or simple epithelium is consisting of or is made up of only single layer of cells, right? And the main function of this simple epithelium is secretion and absorption. If you talk about the next type of or another type of epithelial tissue or epithelium is compound epithelium, and the compound epithelium or compound epithelial tissue is made up of or consisting of many layers of cells, right? That is why we are calling it as compound epithelium or compound epithelial tissue. The main function, the main or primary function of compound epithelium or compound epithelial tissue is to provide protection, That is the primary function of compound epithelium, and the function of absorption and secretion is limited in compound epithelium. Right, so we have basically two types of epithelium, simple epithelium and compound epithelium, right, based upon the number of layers of cells present in both these, right. Now, if we talk about the first one, as we have to describe all the various types of epithelial tissues. So, if we talk about the first one, the epithelial tissue, the simple epithelial tissue or simple epithelium. As we know that simple epithelium or simple epithelial tissue is consisting or made up of only single layer of cells, right. So, this is further divided into 5 categories. Simple epithelium is divided into further 5 categories such as simple squamous epithelium, simple cuboidal epithelium, simple columnar epithelium, then we have ciliated epithelium, and the last one, the 5th one we have is glandular epithelium. So, all these 5 epitheliums are the various types of simple epithelium, right. Now, starting with the very first type of simple epithelium, that is simple squamous epithelium. Simple squamous epithelium is the epithelium consisting of single layer of flat cells. Simple squamous epithelium is the epithelium which consisting of a single layer of flat cells with irregular boundaries, right, and you will find this simple squamous epithelium in the blood vessels of your body and in the linings of alveoli, right. So, this is your simple squamous epithelium. Then if we talk about the next type of simple epithelium, we have is cuboidal epithelium, simple cuboidal epithelium. This is also a type of simple epithelium, so obviously it is also will be consisting of single layer of cells, but the shape of cell is cuboidal in them. So, simple cuboidal epithelium is consisting of single layer of cuboidal cells, and you will find the simple cuboidal epithelium or simple cuboidal epithelial tissue wherever the function of secretion and absorption takes place, like in the proximal convoluted tubule of nephron. In the proximal convoluted tubule of nephron, you will find this simple cuboidal epithelium, right? Now moving on to the third type of simple epithelium, that is columnar epithelium. Columnar epithelium is a type of simple epithelium which is consisting of long slender cells with the presence of nucleus at the base of cells, right? The nucleus of these long slender cells are present at the base of them, and they may bear microvilli on their free surfaces. These cells also can bear microvilli on their free surfaces. Now where do you find these simple cuboidal, simple columnar epithelium? You will find in the inner linings of stomach and intestine, where the absorption and secretion takes place. As we know that the main or primary function of simple epithelium is the absorption and secretion, right? So this is, we have columnar epithelium. Now moving on to the ciliated epithelium, which is the fourth type of epithelial, simple epithelial tissue or simple epithelium, right? The ciliated epithelium can be consisting of cuboidal or columnar cells or epithelium, right? Ciliated epithelium can have columnar cells or can have cuboidal cells, and you will find the ciliated epithelium in the oviduct and bronchioles. Also, the cilia are present on the free surfaces of the cell, which helps in the transportation or which helps in the direction of ovum or mucus in specific directions. So this is, we have ciliated epithelium. Now moving on to the last type of simple epithelium, that is glandular epithelium. Now glandular epithelium also can be consisting of columnar cells or cuboidal cells. Glands are differentiated into two categories as unicellular glands or multicellular glands. Unicellular glands, if we talk about, then they are goblet cells present in your alimentary canal, and multicellular glands are salivary glands in your body. So also these glands are divided into different categories as exocrine glands and endocrine glands based upon the secretion they are going to make, or based upon the type or method of secretion of their enzymes, right? So we have completed the simple epithelium. Now moving on to the compound epithelium. Compound epithelium, we know, is an epithelium which is consisting of many layers of cell. The primary function of compound epithelium is to provide protection and has limited to the function of absorption and secretion. If you talk about where do you find this compound epithelium, you will find this compound epithelium on the dry surface of your skin. The dry surface of your skin, where you will need the most protection, right? This is the main function, this is the primary function of compound epithelium. That is why the compound epithelium, which is consisting of many layers of cell, you will find this layer of epithelium on the dry surface of your skin and in the inner linings of your buccal cavity, right? Into your pharynx, then in the pancreatic duct, also in the inner linings of duct of salivary glands. So this is what we have, various types of epithelial tissue, right? Now we are going to write this answer. As this answer is long, let's write this answer, and we will start writing the answer with epithelial tissue. The basic definition of epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue is the tissue which lines the surface of our body, So epithelial tissue is the tissue which lines the surface of your body and forms a protective covering and forms a protective covering, right? The cells of epithelial tissue are packed tightly. The cells of this epithelial tissue are arranged or packed tightly with little intercellular matrix, right? So the cells of epithelial tissue are present or packed, arranged or packed into tightly with the little intercellular matrix. So this is the basic definition of epithelial tissue. Now we have two types of epithelial tissue. We have two types of epithelial tissue. What are these two types of epithelial tissue? One is simple epithelium and compound epithelium is the another one. So the number one we have is simple epithelium or simple epithelial tissue. The second one we have is compound epithelium or compound epithelial tissue. Now, if we write the definition of simple epithelium or compound epithelium, we will write like this. Simple epithelium is the tissue with only single layer of cell. Single layer of cells concerned with the function of absorption and secretion, right? And the compound epithelium is consisting of many layers of cells, concerned with the function of protection, mainly, right? Now on the next slide we are going to write various types of simple epithelial tissues or simple epithelium, right? So moving on to the next slide, and we are going to write various types of simple epithelium. So we have 5 types of or various types of simple epithelium. The first one we have is simple squamous epithelium. Simple squamous epithelium, right? Simple squamous epithelium. So this layer is consisting of single layer of flat cells with irregular boundaries. So this is consisting of single layer of flat cells, with irregular boundaries, boundaries, right? Now, if you talk about the function or where you will find this simple squamous epithelium, then this will be found in the blood vessels, and lining of alveoli. You will find this simple squamous epithelium in the lining of alveoli and in the blood vessels in your body. Now let's make a diagram of this simple squamous epithelium. So here we have single layer of flat cells with irregular boundaries. These are the flat cells. Also, the most important thing or the most important feature about simple epithelium is the presence of basement membrane. The presence of basement membrane in them, which is acellular in nature. And in the compound epithelium, you will not find the basement membrane. So here, these flat cells with nucleus, and irregular boundaries are attached to the basement membrane. So this is your basement membrane, to which the cells of simple epithelium are directly in contact or attached. So this is your basement membrane, which is the important feature of simple epithelium, and you will not find this basement membrane in the compound epithelium. This basement membrane is acellular in nature, right? And is present only in the simple epithelium. So this is the diagram of simple squamous epithelium. These are the flat cells, right? And this is your basement membrane. This is your basement membrane, right? Now, moving on to the next type of simple epithelium. Moving on to the second type of simple epithelium is simple cuboidal epithelium. Simple cuboidal epithelium, right? So obviously this is also consisting of single layer of cuboidal cells, right? And these will be present. These are found on the places where the absorption and secretion takes place. Secretion takes place, like in convoluted proximal convoluted tubule, of nephron, right? So you will find this simple cuboidal epithelium in the proximal convoluted tubule of nephron in the animal body. Now let's make a diagram of this simple cuboidal epithelium. So here, this is a basement membrane, of course. In each and every various type of simple epithelium, you will find acellular basement membrane to which the single layer of cells are attached. As we are talking about the simple cuboidal epithelium, the single layer of cells are cuboidal, right? So we are going to make cuboidal cells. So these are the cuboidal cells arranged in a single layer and are attached on the basement membrane. So this is your basement membrane and this is your cuboidal cells of simple cuboidal epithelium, right? Now moving on to the third type third type of simple epithelium tissue or simple epithelium. So the third type of simple epithelium we have is simple columnar epithelium. Simple columnar epithelium. Now, as this is a part or this is a type of simple epithelium, this is also will be consisting of single layer of cells. So, we'll write like this. This is consisting of single layer of long slender cells. They may bear microvilli on their free surface, right? And you will find the simple columnar epithelium in the lining of stomach and intestine where the absorption and secretion is taking place. So, this is present in the inner linings of stomach and intestine where the absorption and secretion takes place, right? So this is the example. Stomach and intestine is the example of simple columnar epithelium. Let's make a diagram for this. Also, the important thing about this is the nucleus of these cells are present at the base of the cells. So the nucleus, we'll star mark it, the nucleus of these cells are present at the base. Now let's make a diagram to show this simple columnar epithelium. Here, these are the long cells, may or may not bear microvilli on their free surfaces. The free surface of them is this. They may bear microvilli on their free surface like that. And the nucleus of them is actually present at the base of the cells like this. See, the nucleus are present at the base of cells. This is your basement membrane and this is the diagrammatic representation of your simple columnar epithelium. Now moving on to the next type of simple epithelium, that is your ciliated epithelium. Ciliated epithelium. Now it consists of cuboidal or columnar epithelium. It consists of cuboidal or columnar epithelium, right? You will find this in, this is found in the oviducts and bronchioles. where they direct the ovum and mucus in a specific direction, right? So this is the function, this is the function of your ciliated epithelium. The last one, we are moving on to the last one. Last type of simple epithelium, that is your glandular epithelium. Glandular epithelium. Now, it also consists of cuboidal or columnar epithelium. It is also consisting of cuboidal or columnar epithelium. The glands are of two types, that is unicellular. What is the example of unicellular? Goblet cells. Goblet cells of alimentary canal. Alimentary canal. And multicellular glands such as salivary glands. Also, these glands can be categorized as exocrine and endocrine by the method of releasing enzyme. Right? So we have completed with the first type of epithelial tissue, that is your simple epithelial tissue. Now we have to write about compound epithelial tissue. I hope you get it. What is simple epithelial tissue? This is your answer. I hope you get it, and let's screenshot this, as we are going to write the compound epithelium on the same slide. See, we are going to write we are going to write cuboidal epithelium over here. So the second type of epithelium we have is cuboidal epithelium. Cuboidal epithelium. Now, as we know that in the simple epithelium there was actually a single layer of cells attached to the basement membrane. There is no basement membrane you will find in the cuboidal epithelial tissue, right? So there is no basement membrane in the cuboidal epithelium tissue, and there are many layers of cells consisting and forming cuboidal epithelium. So these are consisting of many layers of cells, many layers of cells, right? And functions as to provide protection right. Now, if we talk about some examples where you will find this compound epithelium, so you will find this compound epithelium on the dry surface of skin, wherever you will where you will find you will need most protection. So dry surface of skin, you will find here this cuboidal epithelium on the dry surface of skin, along with the inner linings of buccal cavity, then pharynx, pancreatic duct, and inner lining of the ducts of salivary gland. So these are the positions, these are the some organs where you will find compound epithelium, right? And with this we have completed question number 8.